is off night. That's right. Tonight is the off night, folks. It's a great night to be out there. Off night. Yeah, that's right. The off night for the comedians to talk to you live from the sunny shores of beautiful Michigan. We have we're the Peninsula State. That's right, folks. Peninsula State. I want to bring you here the greatest guy who's going to help you out now. Who's going to be your MC here on the show from the beautiful, wild, crazy city of, I think, Livonia or Redford, one of the two. Please welcome Mr. Mark Sweetman.
Hey! Thank you, Andy. I tell you what, I like it too, and I like doing it. I'm here. Let me give you the news. I know our other guests are listening in. Is that my glasses? Oh,
you're a little out of focus. I don't know why.
I am a little out of focus. Hold on. I got my wife's apron here. Let me, and my probably scraping the microphone at the same time.
Boy, this is like Mr. Rogers, you know?
Is that any better?
Yes, Mr. Rogers, you're in focus now. Okay.
Thank you. Oh, so anyway, Sweetman news. My son, well, let's leave him nameless because I don't know how many crazies are out there. My son, my youngest son, has left home, the confines of our home. Legally, he's still a resident of this house, but he's off at school. And like his brothers before him, the three girls in the house and my wife are not conducive for college studies, according to them. So he's moved over with his brother into a condo that we own. So it's really not like they moved out, but we have the condo over by Schoolcraft College so that these kids, when they're in school, a couple of them go to Wayne, a couple of them went to Eastern. You know, they don't go very far from the condo when they go to school because they get to live there for nothing. And then as soon as we find out they've missed a semester, like they just stopped going and didn't tell us, we rent. We charge them rent. So anyway, so William's out, and so dibs on his room would be for our oldest daughter, Colleen. She's already got a nice setup in the basement. She wants to stay there. So I'm thinking of converting his bedroom now into a studio, which would be particularly nice because he's got a live wired hookup rather than this Wi-Fi crap that I'm using now to broadcast from my dining room table. So that's in the works. If I get that and I get a nice enough desk in there, and by nice, I mean, I wouldn't brag about it, but I mean, a lot of coverage, a lot of tabletop space, you know. I'm probably going to get a nice mixer. And I haven't operated a mixer since, let's see, when was the last time I was on radio? 1995 was the last time I worked in radio. So it'll be interesting to see it'll be interesting to see what I can get for what I needed to do. I'm sure mixers do a lot more than they did, 23 years ago or whatever. And
the last mixer I was at was in 1981, and I was doing a handstand on the barrel. So.
There you go. And then he's got a camera that I gave him that I thought I was going to use for this, and I might bring that back. We got a couple of other cameras here, Canons and Sonys and stuff like that, and see if I can work them out somehow. But I'd like to go a little bit higher. I'd really like to do what Seth did when we started this. You remember Seth?
I remember Seth.
He ran the board, and all I had to do was the interviewing and the talking. It was a lot easier now that I'm running. So it'd be nice if I could talk one of my kids into doing that, but they don't seem to be interested.
Well, you just got to give an internship. You got to give an internship. You know, get yourself some cred, get an internship, get him some college credits.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But we're only doing one. And maybe if we were doing it 2 or 3 times a week, I'll think about that. Anyway, and plus having a studio would be nice.
There you go.
But anyway, so lots been happening. So let's start getting our guests in here. Thanks for being here, Andy. Now, Andy, we've talked about this before.
Yes.
Andy has been my sidekick announcer, my right-hand man. Again, right-hand man. Right. Since August. And he's an announcer. He's an improv guy. He's gone out and done live remotes for us, which have been a riot. And And so, but part of his duty is if we get overcrowded here, he butts out.
Yeah.
But I do want you to pay attention to the show in case I need to call you back for, to bring things up a little bit. All right.
I'm willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the show.
Well, right now it looks like we're in good standing. We got a lot of our regulars here. I'm going to go in reverse order because usually I bring Sammy up next, but just for fun, here's our newest member of the crew. Told her as we were as we were getting together with each other before we went live that she not only represents she's good for diversity because she's female, but she's also the only smoker on the show. So that's kind of nice that to have a smoker. Not that we want everybody to smoke. In fact, we like people to not smoke, but it's good to have that, that voice represented, the voice of the smoker. These are jobs that I'd have my parents or my brothers do, but my parents have died from lung diseases, and my brother no longer has a trachea, from smoking. So I really can't ask that. although my brother would be a good one to have on for not smoking. So anyway, and then we have at least for the next few weeks, we have a Florida rep, and I've enjoyed having her coming in from Florida for the last few weeks. There's Kathy Ryan. Kathy, thanks for joining us again.
My pleasure.
And how many more weeks are you in Florida?
6 more weeks, mid-April.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We're not going to bump you, but I will be looking for another Florida rep because it's always good to get those good those fresh Florida perspectives.
Oh, yeah. Try and find one.
And last night, John Oliver did a great piece on our broken unemployment system in Florida. Was the best example of how bad unemployment can actually be. So
Florida's a good example. If it didn't have water, no one would live here.
Is that it? The weather? Is that? I mean, have nice weather.
Oh,
I'm still looking at Belize for my retirement. I think I mentioned the other day if anybody retired overseas. When I found out it used to be called the British Honduras, that was it for me because I knew they spoke English and I wouldn't have to learn another language.
Hey, there's $5,000 houses in Italy. You can buy those.
Yeah, you were talking about that too. And somebody told me they had a friend moving to Portugal or something like that. Was that you? Must have been probably somebody off show. So
yeah, my baby boomer resentment.
We're looking at it.
Larger and larger. The more you talk about retirement and pensions.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you all.
God. All right, that right there, that line right there, that gets you another week on the show. I mean, that's the type of thing we're looking for.
Let me tell you about my Medicare.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Exactly. Yeah. You know what I hate? Yeah. When you have to have that deck restored every summer,
Well, we talk about going to Belize and stuff, but our actual retirement is going to be like no man's land and crapping in a bucket in a van somewhere. So
yeah.
Speak for yourself.
I already live there.
Anyway, and here is last but not least, probably the answer man for every question, every topic. I want this. If I have a team that I need to go on a quiz show with, and I can pick any member, this guy is going with me because, he's just a trivia nut. Sam Greenfield, everybody.
Sam Greenfield, my favorite.
By the way,
I like
everybody's life. Portugal.
Foxy.
I thought about moving to Portugal. Portugal is the gateway in Europe to sex trafficking.
Is it really?
Yes.
Sex you, though.
I have a very dear friend who lives in Panama. And he loves it there. Costa Rica's nice, right on the beach. Two bedroom, 2-bathroom place, $200,000.
I have a couple of friends in
great medical care. It's free. I'll tell you where I would live if I didn't have family, and I'd move there tomorrow if I didn't have family. New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, because I love lamb. I love lamb.
Well, so do the Syrians, but you're not moving to Syria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valid
I
point.
like Xena Princess
Oh,
Warrior.
by the way,
That would
did
be
you,
great.
did you hear that Assad and his wife tested positive for COVID-19?
No kidding.
Aw, pity.
Yeah,
That is
gee, I hope he feels better by the time I'm 104.
Yeah.
Piece of shit he is. Um, and
My favorite, yeah.
oh, so let me tell the Jimmy Wiggins story now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
All right, let me hold on. Let me brief
please
everyone
set it
on
up, please.
this join us.
I'm just-
We meet 15 minutes before we go live at 8 o'clock every week, just to do mic checks and stuff like that. And what we do beforehand for our mic checks is much like what we do during the show. And
You
sometimes I
shoot
have
the
to
shit.
pause. Sometimes I have to pause. Everybody says, "Why don't we save that for the show?" That's pretty interesting stuff. So here's Sammy with his Jimmy Wiggins story. You can repeat the description of Jimmy Wiggins and who he is.
Okay.
And
The Jimmy Wiggins was at the Johnny Walker Red comedy contest, and it was a contest, I believe, in cooperation with the Improv out of L.A.
yes,
Bud Friedman, and Jimmy Wiggins was like an older hippie kind of guy, very
Yep.
funny, but
Mhm.
based on the way he looked and his act, he had no chance of getting on Evening at the Improv because, as I said during the warm up, you had to look like Bob Saget. You had to have a sweater and look charming and be clean shaven.
And back then,
And-
everybody had that mullet. Remember that? Everybody
That's
was running
correct.
with that
Yeah.
mullet back
Yeah.
then.
The guy who was on who's the guy on Full House with Saget? Dave Collier.
Dave Coulier.
That was the ultimate mullet.
Ugh, gross.
That was the ultimate. That was mullet man. Anyway,
I think he
so,
only wore that so he would look more like Bullwinkle Moose. You know.
well, he succeeded beyond his wildest dreams. So, so Jimmy gets on stage and he follows, and I don't care if it offends anybody, just 500 generic comics.
Yeah.
What's up with stamps? I mean, it was awful. It just, so
Actually, making fun of generic '80s comics is a punchline now. I mean,
well, yes. By the way, I think I told my wife this. We've actually gone a whole new generation now, and I'll tell you how I know this. I saw a comic on some late night comedy show, and he said, cats, they don't give a shit about. He was doing cat jokes.
oh, that's funny.
And I thought,
That's funny.
it's not because he's a thief. It's not because he's unoriginal. It's because he is literally 25, 30 years after me.
Yeah.
Because March 5th of this year, 18, was the 38th year of me doing comedy.
Oh,
Wow.
congratulations.
Wow.
I started
Wow.
doing for money. I started doing it the night Belushi died.
Na 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 na.
Exactly. And the guy who ran the club said, "Do you think we should have a moment of silence for Belushi before you go on stage?" I go, "Really? How about if we bring the body on? How about that? how about if I say Kaddish and then set him on fire? How about that? What are you drunk?"
You know what's
Please.
funny about that is I remember where I was the night Belushi died. Isn't that odd? Because he wasn't a stand-up and he wasn't that big of a deal. But I remember I was working the night that Belushi died. I was working with
Somebody asked. Go ahead. I'm sorry. When I went to bring up
Andy,
the next
you'll
act,
remember I was
opening.
working with Tom Ryan. You remember?
It was me and Rob Bartlett. And somebody from the audience
God.
yelled out, "Did you hear the Belushi?"
You know what? Back then he would have been doing.
Yes.
Back then Bartlett would have been doing. He would have been doing. He would have been doing the song parodies, "Material Girl," and remember the song parodies.
God, somebody poked my eyes out. So, jam a drumstick in my ear. So anyway, so somebody yelled out in the audience, "Did you hear Belushi died?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And he goes, "What did he die of?" And I said, "Being Belushi."
Ooh, good call.
Well, stop me when I'm wrong. Anyway, so Jimmy Wiggins goes on stage. He has literally no chance of getting on the, but Jimmy didn't care. And Jimmy gets on. He goes like this. "Well, it's great being here. Nice people here. And wait, excuse me.
Love you.
You four guys. Are you the judges?" Yeah. All four, you're the only judges? Yeah. Well, then who did I blow in the men's room?
Oh, good.
And Bud Fried, and he killed. I mean, it actually got better after that. He killed.
Yeah.
And Bud Friedman comes up to him and says, I don't think you're going to win this contest, but I'd like to bring you out to LA for 2 weeks to perform at the Improv. And he goes, and the first thing Jimmy said, and this is why I loved him, he goes, you paying the airfare?
Yeah.
And he goes, yes, I am. He goes, I'm all yours, big buddy. Oh, do me a favor, you guys. If you have a chance, I don't want to do it now, but because we have a limited amount of time. If you have a chance, go online and look up DC Benny. You know DC Benny.
I know
Yes,
DC
no?
Benny.
He's
I
a
know.
comedian. Okay.
Yeah.
Look up
I
DC
know.
Benny talking about Vic Henley. It's one of the funniest things. He talks about like trying to pass at the comic strip with Lucian and how, and what a dick Lucian was. And it's hysterical. And it's mostly about Vic Henley, who recently, passed. But it's mostly about Vic. It's hysterical. Hysterical. So 60 Percocet. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So what's going on in Florida?
Relative to what?
Yeah. Spring breakers are packing it in already.
God, lucky you.
Yeah. And actually, where we are, it's not a big spring break destination because there's absolutely nothing. I'm on a Manasota Key, which is like halfway between Venice and Naples on the Gulf side.
Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely nothing here. Nothing.
No, you're residential.
Yes, very exactly. Yeah. So we don't have a big influx, but
no, and they're not welcome. Where you are, they're not welcome.
Oh, no, they're not. But we do
Can
have
I get a bite to eat? Yeah.
We do have their grandparents here, though. Can you what?
Yeah, you can get a bite to eat. Go across the state.
Oh, yeah.
And
a couple of great little restaurants on the Key. Yeah.
Go take the Alligator Alley and hit Lauderdale and tell them I sent you.
Okay, yeah, I will for sure. Well, we did have to go all the way over to Port St. Lucie to get our vaccinations.
Wow.
Yeah, which is 3 hours on it. But we got it through a friend of a friend of a friend who got us into the Cleveland Clinic over there. And then we get a notice that's and because non-residents can't get shots down here, and then we get a notice
of that city or that state.
Of non-residents of Florida cannot be vaccinated, even if you're down here for 6 months out of the year. It doesn't matter. They don't care if you don't have identification. You don't have a Florida driver's license. You can't get it. So a friend of a friend said, "Oh, I got this friend at the Cleveland Clinic could probably do it." And I said, "Okay." So we drove over, and we get a notice that the vaccines are being given at a drive-through at the NAACP headquarters.
All right.
So I said, well, not only are we not Florida residents, but we're really not a member of the NAACP either. But let's see how this happens. But every day we had to go through one station to the next, and I said, why do I feel like I'm trying to smuggle cocaine through customs here? At some point, they're going to catch us for being non-residents. They never even asked for identification. It was like,
so you started furiously looking for your Papa Was a Rolling Stone tape.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, don't make eye contact. Don't say a word. So anyway, so I got that out of the way. But I hesitate to tell that story to anyone in Florida for fear I'll be turned in.
Well, you can always tell Florida people.
You know, 2 weeks in a row, so you're in trouble.
Yeah.
What?
You've
Say again.
2 weeks in a row, so they're on to you for sure.
Okay. Oh,
2 weeks
God.
in a row.
See what happens when you get old? Oh, forget stuff.
So,
you have a young person around.
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
She keeps us straight. She keeps us going.
That's right. So my wife gets her second dose today, and just as we get home, and we get home after her second dose in time to hear the CDC say, if you've been vaccinated, they're now saying you can be in groups of people that are also been vaccinated, and you don't need to wear a mask.
No.
And so she hears this and she goes, does that mean I can go out now? And I said, yeah, but In a comedy, you wouldn't have said that. You would have said, you would have looked at me, you would have looked at the TV screen again, you would look back at me, and then when you would have gone, see ya, and then we'd hear that noise as you bolt out the door.
I'm out of here.
The Huckleberry Hound thing, bongo, 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 and then shoom.
Yeah, exactly. Bongo, bongo, shoom.
Yeah. Well,
So
I just got accepted. I can now file for getting the COVID vaccine now. You know, they're going to let 50-year-olds with heart problems and homeless people. So that's.
So
that's
what are you covered under? What are you covered under? Are you?
I think I'm covered under both of them. 50 with heart and homeless. I'm becoming homeless. I'm telling you, I've got that van ready to go at any time. Anytime I got that van ready to go. I could be.
But if you have the van, then you're not homeless.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, that's right. That's right.
You're not Republican. You're not Republican. You're not Republican homeless. Democrats may still call you homeless.
There we go. I see.
The Republicans consider you privileged if you're stealing.
So I signed up for Myers, and I signed up for I finally got through the Washtenaw community, so I could get my shot at the factory at EMU. You know, hey.
Oh, there you go. Now, how is Myers? I've heard a lot of people getting their shot at Myers. How is Myers doing a better job of this than our state and our county health?
What is Myers? Is it a pharmacy?
Myers is Walmart that's only Great Lakes region. It's like the it's like the Walmart.
I think they're not so shitty like Walmart.
Yeah, they're not shitty like Walmart. Yeah. They don't buy so much from China. They like to buy from local people.
They usually go to Vietnam and Philippines.
Not for nothing. Myers.
That's right.
Comparing Myers to Walmart.
Local Asians.
Well, the only reason I compare them to Myers is if I can't find some.
It's a big ass store. Like, can I tell Sam?
Sure.
I'll explain Myers to him.
Could you speak up?
When I first moved to Michigan, I was like,
are you close to your microphone?
What?
We can't
close to your
hear you.
microphone.
If you could volume up a little bit.
Oh. How's that?
No.
No, it's a little higher. Anything you get a little higher there.
I don't think I can do anything on my end.
Take one of these, you'll get higher.
There you go. He's got a Percocet for you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so when I first moved to Michigan, I was like, yo, this store is crazy. You can buy like a lobster and a gun and a bicycle and a hunting license in the same store. Like, that was crazy to me. And so in that way, it's like Walmart. But Meijer is like I just feel like it's like a more equitable business plan. Like, they buy local. It is a local store.
They do their employees very well, better than Walmart
does. They're not like
that's some contest.
Wage
yeah.
Peter Meijer voted for impeachment, didn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
One of the One of the Myers is a congressman, and he's a Republican who voted for impeachment. So Myers has got that going for him.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's from Grand Rapids.
Yeah. The thing about the Myers Pharmacy though is that they take your name and they put it on the list, and everyone else doesn't really do that. So, so they're going to call you. They're going to email you. Once you get into their list, they're going to contact you.
Simplest, most logical plan.
Yeah.
Apparently is with Myers.
Huh.
Not the state of Michigan or your local county government.
Well, maybe we could have Myers. Now, if this is a real comedy show, we'd already have our writers have a list of things that Myers could, since Myers is so good at this, other things we suggest Myers could do. So, writers, what do we got? What are other things Myers could do for
government programs?
Or anything. Doesn't have to be government. Most people don't want the government if we could do it ourselves. If we could do it ourselves, we don't need the government. You know what I mean?
So if Myers ran the country is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's not get carried away, but let's try to do something funny with it.
You read that Donald Trump said he's going to Alaska to work against Lisa Murkowski.
Yeah.
And the first thing that came to my mind was Donald Trump said he's going to work. Oh, please. First of all,
I want to bet he doesn't go because he just remembered that Sarah Palin is there.
Yeah, he just wants a better view of Russia.
Yeah.
That's all. First of all,
Russia from her house.
God, you know, she's one of the few people, maybe the only person, Palin, I have any memory of. I mean, when I say this, I mean public personality. Who, when they got their divorce, a woman, the husband initiated it.
Yeah. What does that say?
And so I have a friend who is a great divorce lawyer, and I say he's great because he said his goal is that there's no blood when it's over. He said people are so angry, they are so filled with rage. He said, and I try to tell them, as soon as you sign these papers, your life changes and starts over. So don't bring the anger here. Bring the determination to resolve whatever financial things you have, child visitations, and then move on. I don't want to hear, yeah, well, last week is over. And he's very successful. And he takes, the thing I love about him is he takes poor people's divorces pro bono.
Oh.
I mean, he does wealthy people and he soaks them like a rag, but it allows him to do pro bono. So if you're poor and you want a divorce, he's great at that. He makes sure that the woman is covered. No, he makes sure that the woman doesn't get messed over. That in a poor person's, that the kids are taken. He's great at that. So I said to him, what were the grounds that, what was his name? Palin. Scott, was it? I forget.
Scott Palin.
Todd Palin.
Todd. Thank you very much. Todd Palin. Fur trapper and oil rigger. And snowmobile schmuck. And
snow machine. It's called a snow machine there.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, snow machine.
I feel terrible for not knowing. But now I feel more Jewish. And so,
well, it's a regional, it's like exotic dancers have different names in different regions,
mine was always,
up in here, it's there, let's give a big round of applause for Muskie and Walleye as she dances along the way,
Shave me now. And so I said to him, what were the grounds? And he said, the husband sued and said the grounds were incompatible differences, not irreconcilable, incompatible. And I said, isn't it usually irreconcilable? He goes, yes. And I said, well, what does incompatible mean? And he goes, it literally means I've had enough of your shit. He said, that's exactly what it means. I don't want to live with you another hour. Okay. I'm tired of you and your bullshit, and I'm moving out. And a friend of mine actually lives in Wasilla. And he said that when that family, when those two were married, when that family pulled up to a bar, people would leave because a fight was going to break out. They are loud, violent drunks.
They're loud, violent, not sober too. I mean,
right. Geez. Well, and the son that was in Iraq.
Yeah.
You know why he was in Iraq? He got arrested for cutting the brake line he got drunk, cutting the brake line of a school bus.
Yeah. Nice kid.
So they either were going to send him to jail. They should have shot him. Kids could have died.
What a psychopath.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is.
Oh,
well, he also, God. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just the beginning.
It's genetic.
So they put him in. Yes, it is. So they put him in Iraq. Okay. Then he comes back. He gets arrested for assaulting his fiance. Then he gets arrested for assaulting his father. And the only thing I hope is he's still a drunk, because if he's not, he's going to be one of these people who finds God and he's going to bore the living shit out of me. It's like the old Cheech and Chong thing. I used to be hung up on drugs and now I'm hung up on the Lord. No.
Hey, because she was such a big deal for these stable geniuses for so long, do you think it was Trump that pushed her aside in the spotlight?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because it seems to be about the same. It seems to be about the same time, about 2015 when he came on.
Yeah.
Seems to be about the time that she kind of disappeared, because she was around for would be a bug up Romney's ass when he was running.
But if you
Sure.
think
well,
about
she
it,
kind of paved the way for him. You know,
yeah,
all of a sudden,
yeah,
stupid was
Bush
acceptable.
begat Palin, Palin begat Trump.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And
I
but
think
you saw
that,
how fast he shoved her aside. She was, she was sure she was going to get a cabinet post or an ambassadorship or something.
I wouldn't give her a cabinet that had drawers.
Yeah.
But a wing.
But no, but see, here's the thing. If you think about it, he didn't give anybody any space. I mean, it's not like he, didn't give Sarah Palin spotlight, but gave somebody. There's no spotlight without him. That doesn't include him.
Yeah,
it's all
true.
him. So
Yeah.
there's, when he's on that stage, you don't see somebody with him. No. It could have been Palin. It could have been anybody.
Well, just
Could have
like
been
any
anybody.
proper
No, there's no room. I'm sorry.
that is like the proper dictator, rule of handbook. It's you gesticulating, and that's Hitler, Mussolini. They didn't have like a side piece, like advisor type person. They're like,
no, they're always in the background.
Yeah. Well,
somebody like Stephen Miller,
shot.
somebody like Stephen Miller, who, for reasons that escape me, worships Trump.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Well,
I think we do.
Yeah, but what about Mike Pence? My God, Trump tried to have him killed, and he still adores Trump. I mean,
You don't
Wow.
know any idiot? You don't know any idiots?
Problems.
He doesn't
Well-
adore. Nobody adores Trump except
There's-
Trump.
No. He sees
have you
Trump.
seen how he looks at him?
It's the same way Nancy looked at Ron.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, every woman in the world is saying, I wish my husband looked at me like Mike Pence looks at Trump.
And the worst
Okay.
part is when Mike Pence's wife said, I don't care how you stare at him. Stop touching yourself.
Yeah.
Mother.
Oh,
Did you see where Mike Pence is doing the voiceover,
Pregnant?
whatever it's called, on the Fox News presentation of the memorial to Rush Limbaugh?
Oh,
Say that
gosh.
again, please.
Pence is narrating
the memorial.
the Fox News memorial to Rush Limbaugh.
You know what's
Wow.
amazing? The opening line
Yeah.
is, oh, right, like you like
Excuse
black.
me.
No, the opening line is, right, like you like black people. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did anybody watch the Prince Harry thing last night?
Who didn't?
All right, hold on. I guess I could say I
read the
watched
Cliff
it.
Notes.
I guess you could say I watched it because my wife watched it, and I said I hung with it for 59 minutes.
That
And when
ain't
they
bad.
And when they went to the break and said, when we come back, I said, they're not going to do another hour of this. My wife goes, oh, yeah. I go, I'm out. That's it. I'm done. So
Yeah.
I made it through an hour. You can't do 2 hours on that crap. All right.
Are you kidding?
Here's my answer to everybody. I talked to other people about this today. We revolted against the British monarchy. Do I have to remind people of this all the time? We didn't want this. We don't want this. We don't want
in
this.
retaliation, they were revolting to you last night.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm the only person in North America
Good
who
one.
thinks that Oprah Winfrey is the most egregious phony I have ever seen on television in my life.
So much. I do hate her.
Oh, thank
I
God.
hate her so much.
When she goes, really? Did that? Oh, just shut up. Just stop. Please. God.
Are you
Oh,
kidding?
man, it's like watching Geraldo Rivera with a slightly larger ass.
Well, I was shocked. Shocked. I mean, if shocked's the wrong word, but Oprah was invited to the wedding. She had met Meghan Markle once, like months before that, and she was invited to the wedding. What are we doing here, Meghan?
A friend of mine got very mad because he said, she's iconic. I said, yeah, I know. I don't want to piss him off. He's my friend, She's iconic. You know how you know she's iconic? I said, tell me. We only use one name. Oprah.
Oh.
I said, oh, you mean like Hitler?
Yeah. Mussolini. Saddam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mussolini. By the way, for those of you who never watched A&E when it was the Hitler channel.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So they did a show about Mussolini. And people forget he was killed much before Hitler, quite a ways, So
by his own people.
But is there any other way to go?
Yeah.
The amazing part was 2 days later he was sold as Capicola, but
Gabagool.
That's right. That's great. So he, you want some prosciutto? It's right off his bowls. So anyway, so he would visit Hitler fairly frequently because it was a nice PR move in their world to be seen with Hitler. And in this one episode, they said Hitler couldn't stand him and would tell his aides, if you know he's coming, tell him I'm somewhere else. And I thought to myself, Hitler doesn't want to be around you.
Yeah.
How fucked up are you? Hitler is telling people, no, not him. No, God, please. Hitler. Okay. Not Franco. Hitler.
Yeah, isn't it odd that you got Franco, you've got Mussolini, you had all these people. I mean, Nazis had to go out of their way to find Stalin and Churchill in order to find people that were against them. People sure did like to, and the French weren't exactly holding up them. The French,
the Vichy government was very popular.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
And by the way, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said you can't trust the French. Everybody knows that.
No, and I'll tell you something else. When Meghan Markle the other night, and I didn't watch it, but I watched snippets, was talking about, they asked, what color do you think the baby will be? England was the most racist empire ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well,
Yeah.
So why are people surprised?
Are people surprised? Because I was just like, oh.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Were you surprised?
When they think of racist, they think of, Germany, with the Nazis and, whatchamahoozy, the Italians and the Japanese, a very racist country. Japan is, to this day, is a very racist, exclusionary country.
Yep.
I know. Did you know that the Yakuza, who are like the very scary ass gangsters in Japan, they are mostly actually Koreans.
Is that right?
The Yakuza.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're like the N words of Korea, like the Koreans hate the Japanese hate the Koreans. It's like a whole thing. Because the Japanese
and they all hate the Chinese.
Koreans for generations.
Well, they think of the Chinese the way that that's a whole different. They think they look at the Chinese the way that anti-Semites look at Jews. They're the merchants.
Yeah.
They're the merchants. They'll make the buffalo pee on the nickel. They'll squeeze it so hard. That's how they look at them. If I can coin a phrase.
Coin a phrase. Oh no.
I'll repeat that. I guarantee it.
What kind of cigarette do you smoke?
Marlboro 27s. Blend number 27.
What did the other team do?
27s. I mean, I haven't smoked in 30 years, but we didn't have craft cigarettes back when I was smoking.
You smoked when we knew each other, when we met, Mark?
I think I had to quit by then. I'm not sure.
You had quit.
Yeah. That was I think I was working with you about the time I quit, actually.
Mm-hmm.
What did you smoke though?
Me?
Yeah.
Hams.
I smoked Pall Malls like my dad.
Non-filter?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, you were a man.
I
drank
Pall Mall. I drank my coffee black, drank my whiskey straight. I smoked Pall Malls. I mean, there was no veneer. There was no veneer for me. I worked the crowds and hit on the guy's date, and I did it all.
Shot a man once.
Shot a man once just to see him die.
Just to see him die. Yeah.
Did you know Tommy Sledge?
Sure did.
Tommy Sledge, for those of you who don't know, his act was looking like a private eye.
Yep.
Trench coat, fedora hat, fog coming up behind him, a song like Harlem Nocturne playing in the background.
And he would speak with that 40s movie staccato, kid.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that stupid noir fucking cliche from improv.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, lady, I'll tell you. I got something to tell you.
He was working in. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was doing a bit.
He was working in Boston one night, and he had one. It was not his opening line, but it was close to his opening line. And it made it. You know, the great jokes are the ones that you never see it coming. And this joke I thought was so good, I burst out laughing. And he finished his act, and he said, "You laughed so hard, I almost started laughing." And I said, "I'm really sorry." He said, "No, God bless you. Oh no, please. You opened the door to the crowd. No, they joined in. But you laughed so it was like I remember how I laughed. It was like I was a staccato burst." This is the joke. He goes, "I settled into Joe's pub. That's what he liked to call it, for a cup of Joe. And I tell you now, I like my coffee like I like my women, with big tits." And man, oh my God, I think that's one of the 2 or 3 greatest jokes I've ever heard.
I think Boston is where I first saw Tommy Sledge too, but I mostly saw him down in the South. He worked the South quite a bit, but I think
yes, he did.
The first time I saw him was in Boston. Oh man,
God, so funny.
Anyway,
yes.
Again, I feel like I should be taking notes. Like, who's that comedian that I've never heard of?
And yet you're not.
Don't worry about it. You could probably talk about stuff that we don't know anything about. So
who's the new hottie out there? Who's the new hot comic that you've seen?
Well,
me?
Yeah,
me.
you.
Yeah. No, I'm the new hot comic that you've seen.
There you go.
I think it's this kid Murphy, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
You know, I got interrupted by daughters who won't come home on time, but my wife and I started watching the new Coming to America. And I tell you what, for the first 45 minutes, very entertaining, made me laugh. I kind of want to go back and watch the original now, because I don't particularly remember it being that hilarious.
Yeah.
But
good reviews.
I am like I said, I might start it over from the beginning again just because I got interrupted. But that first 45 minutes was pretty good.
The part about the movie, the part 2 that I thought was, listen, you have to suspend disbelief when you're watching a movie. But when he goes into the barbershop, those guys who are in the barbershop were damn near 90 when the first one was there.
First one, babe, and they haven't aged.
Now, what are they, 128?
Yeah,
I mean, they're still there.
They haven't aged at all. Everyone else in the movie has aged except for the guys in the barbershop.
And Eric LaSalle isn't in it, of course.
Right. And neither is...
he's a big deal now. He's an executive producer.
Yeah.
I think it's Chicago PD.
And John Witherspoon had a role in there, but it was taken out because he died just before
Madge Sinclair died.
Yep. So there's a lot of people that were in that. I like.
But
Louis Anderson's in it. He was funny. I mean, I was laughing at everything. It was very good. And what's her name?
Sam Jackson was in the original.
Uh-huh. And you know who else they got in this one that wasn't in the original? Flight of the Penguins, Driving Miss Daisy. What's his name? Shawshank
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman's in this one. And
Also known as God.
For further,
the great narrator.
Well, what he does is
God, yeah.
I won't spoil it for you, but he plays Morgan Freeman. You know, so I hope that's not spoiling it for you. Morgan Freeman plays Morgan Freeman.
You.
Sorry.
And one of my favorites, Leslie Jones, is in it.
Really?
I tell you what, for the 45 minutes I've seen so far, she's a stitch too. And the kid they got to play. Oh, I'm not going to tell you what this now.
His son.
Spoiler.
Okay, you know that part already. All right. The kid they got to play
showed
son.
the previews.
Oh, did they? All right. I don't. You know what? I see so few movies. I don't even see previews. I see 2 movies a year anymore. In the last, when you got 8 kids, when you got 8 kids, you know what you see? you see all the shit that comes out for them, and then you miss everything else. So
Barbara and I see when the pandemic wasn't on, Barbara and I used to see 25, 30 movies a year. Plus, I'm in Screen Actors Guild, and I'm on the judging committee for the awards.
oh,
so
so
they
you have,
send me the
Nice.
videos.
Yeah.
oh,
Nice.
I know a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends get to view all the. I'm sorry. What's that, Penny?
No, I want him to get me in that union, please.
What would you like to see?
No, I just want to be a member of that union.
Do you know
Are
I
you in
just got?
Screen Actors Guild?
Yeah.
Are you in SAG-AFTRA?
No, I'm not. I'm not in it. I used
Well,
to
it'll be harder to get on the judging committee then.
SAG-AFTRA is one union. SAG-AFTRA is one union now, isn't it?
Huh?
Yes, it is.
SAG-AFTRA is one union now.
They
Yes,
joined
it
up,
is.
yeah.
Stronger,
Yeah.
stronger, stronger.
I just
You know,
heard
whenever
from. I
anybody
just got.
talks to me about they hate unions,
Uh-huh.
this is what I tell them. When I worked at WEVD in New York, and it got sold, okay, ESPN took it over.
Uh-huh.
My union rep called me and said, I wanted you to know that your medical is paid for 1 year.
Awesome.
So whenever anybody tells me unions suck, I go, you know what amazes me? You're listening to millionaire broadcasters tell you who's making $35,000 a year that you shouldn't have a union. So technically, you're brain dead.
Yeah.
Okay, you're an idiot. And he goes, well, if you think that, why are we friends? I go, that's what I'm trying to tell you. We're not. I told you, you're stupid. I'm telling you. I don't want to be around you. Okay, you're the kind of guy who gets stuck in an oven and asks, is it hot enough for you? So my wife said, Sam Greenfield, spreading love wherever he's not.
Have you ever heard of the AGVA?
Yes.
They're an affiliate of AFL-CIO.
Yes.
I had never heard of them before, but I was doing some rabbit hole research. Basically, that means you click on one thing, oh, this is interesting. You look on something else, you Google something else, and pretty soon I'm looking at Barbara Streisand's contract with the Cox Club when she played in Detroit, and it was an AGVA contract, union contract, because she was in the union, and I looked it up, and I had briefly heard of them when my kids were both character actors down at Disney, because that's the union that represents all the characters, the live characters at Disney and the Rockettes, but for a while, and basically until the Improv and the Comedy Store, which started hiring people that weren't union, which was the whole reason they had they should have gone to the union back when Tom Dreesen led the strike against Mitzi. They should have gone to the union that was already in place.
And she literally wasn't paying. She literally was not paying them.
No, she wasn't.
I saw that documentary.
But anyway, I just thought the AVGA is still around, and I just thought it was kind of interesting that they had so much power, and Barbara Streisand was such a strong advocate of the union that even though she didn't have to, back when she was not really well known when she came here, but she spent almost an entire year at the Caucus Club. Now, you know what the Caucus Club is, right? Yeah.
I do.
So,
I have a friend who works there right now.
Yeah.
I know.
The Caucus Club is a nightclub. It's an old-fashioned, what you'd think of a nightclub as being like the Copacabana or...
Yeah, like a New York nightclub.
Or Dangerfield.
Yeah.
But in the 1940s.
It was more like the Polo Room, actually. It was a type of place.
Okay.
It was a type of place. I mean, it's they serve, they're usually rated as one of the top restaurants, not always, but it depends on who their chef is. It's a type of place where, you wanted to get a gig there and things like that. It was right across the street from London Chop House, which is another 5-star restaurant. But it's, and it was just kind of interesting. And you were speaking about SAG-AFTRA, and that's the union that, were you ever a part of the Professional Comedians Association, Sam?
I sure was. I was the treasurer.
That's
why they're broke now.
That's why they're broke. Yeah.
No, I was in the PCA.
If it wasn't for that, you couldn't afford the Percocet,
Exactly.
I joined the union for the perks.
Let me, oh, that's
60
very
of
good.
them.
That's really
one.
good. Nice one, Andy.
Thank
No,
you. Thank you.
yeah,
Once in 3 weeks. That's good.
Medicare. Listen, Medicare has taken great care of me regarding medical. When Trump was saying he was going to get rid of Medicare,
Why? Why would he say that?
because he's a self-serving fat tub of shit who I hope dies before I finish this sentence.
There it is.
Same.
All right, go ahead. I would like to comment on whatever you're saying after you're done. Go
Okay,
ahead.
well, that's really it.
Okay.
Because it would help his wealthy friends who own pharmaceutical places. It would help his wealthy friends who were doctors. That's why.
All right.
Anything that helps the wealthy, he was in favor of.
Great. Okay.
Uh,
Why do
He's
people
not
wish
around
that?
anymore.
I don't know why.
I want to
people
put in a thing. If you haven't seen Baskets with Louis Anderson, you should watch it. It's pretty good.
Now, what's that on? What streaming network is that on? Or
On
cable?
FX.
It's
Or
FX?
what's that? FX,
It's on FX
FX and Hulu. Hulu, you can see it on Hulu.
Okay.
One of
But
the
it's
nicest
probably-
people.
Yeah,
Louis
that show
Anderson
is-
plays the mother of what's his name? Zach Galifianakis.
Yes.
He plays the mother,
He
and
plays his
it's
own mother.
absolutely perfect.
Zach is so clever, it's frightening.
Oh, he's
He
good.
says,
He's really good.
twins.
Huh.
So he
Yes.
plays two different characters in the show.
Oh, that's cool.
Jeez.
It's it's a good show.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Zach
Oh.
said the
Yeah,
only
Louis
time
Anderson.
it's good to say I've got diarrhea is when you're playing Scrabble. He said you get a shitload of points. And he did a joke. He did a joke that I think only people who live in cities get. He goes, I live in an African American neighborhood, and the people here are terrified. The police have told them to be on the lookout for an ask murderer.
Oh.
Jeez.
I think that's genius. I do.
That reminds me of a joke that I did, and I stopped doing it because, well, for obvious reasons, because it's making fun of the way people talk. And I live in a town where that's not liked upon. But I used to do a joke where I'd say, we asked I established that it was the black kid, and we asked him, "Do you want to go to Babla with us?" He goes, "I don't know. I'll ask my mother." I go, "Hey, if she's not going to let you go, let's not go to extremes here. If she's not going to let you go, she's not going to let you go. We can do something else. Don't ask your mother just to get to go to Babla." So
Yeah,
I stopped doing it because I thought it was a little bit. Well, I adopted black children, so I had to.
Have you ever played in New Orleans?
Yes, God, I love New Orleans.
I played.
Man.
What's the name of that? Not Vanderbilt. That's in Nashville.
Tulane University.
Tulane.
Tulane
I played it. I did a gig when I used to do a lot of colleges, and I was playing in Tulane. And after the show, there were 4 kids who were on the steering committee, and they said, "Thank you very much. It was a terrific show. Everyone had a great time. We'd like to take you out to dinner." And I said, "Oh, that'd be wonderful." So this woman, there were 2 white kids, an Asian kid, and a black kid, and the black kid was from New Orleans. The two white kids were Jewish. They were from like New York and Boston, and the Chinese kid was from L.A.
Now, Tulane, is that a Jesuit? I thought Tulane was like a Jesuit school or something.
It could be. I don't think so, but it could be.
All right.
It's a great school, phenomenal school. And so they said, "Where would you like to eat?" Now, I know New Orleans. So I said, "You know where I want to eat? I want to eat at Dookie Chase."
There you go.
Dookie Chase is like a 110-year-old black Creole restaurant.
Crawfish.
Huge mural paintings, huh?
You had crawfish, I'm guessing. Probably.
Unbelievable. Crawfish at etouffee. And so I said, "I'd like to eat at Dookie Chase." The black kid said, "Really?" And I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "It's not a great neighborhood." I said, "I don't want to get in a gang war. I want to eat." He goes, "I don't know." I said, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "Gerald, right? It's Gerald?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Are there going to be people in that restaurant eating?" He goes, "Yeah." I goes, "Has anyone ever burst through the door and held people up and taken their wallets?" "No." I said, "Let's eat." Let's see. I said, and he said, where did you grow up? And I said, Washington, D.C. And he says, oh, no wonder. Murder capital of the United States. And I said, I have a T-shirt with that.
Yeah. But I thought that was Detroit.
Huh?
Until Detroit.
I thought that was Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We rested. Well, it's not DC anymore, and I don't think it's Detroit anymore. It may be Houston.
No. It's not Detroit.
Yeah.
I think Chicago's having that.
Oh yeah, that's right, Chicago.
Yeah. Did I tell you? Detroit just
that illustrious title.
Did you guys hear what Detroit? Do you guys hear what Detroit just got though? USA Today. America's most beautiful waterfront.
Oh,
that's
what?
The Riverwalk.
The Riverwalk is
I see.
Yeah.
Have you been downtown, Andy, in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Century?
Yes. I had to go to rent out my my Maven car. I had to go down to the riverfront. So
that sounds religious.
It does sound
It is. It was kind of religious to me because I was like, 400 a freaking week? Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ! It's like
See, it was religious.
It was religious. No, but that's
a religious movement.
When they get done with that, and you know who gave a lot of money for that park? Buffalo Bills owner Ralph Wilson.
That's right.
Oh,
was in Grosse Pointe. Lived in Grosse Pointe.
Lived in Grosse Pointe, yeah.
By the way,
that's the closest thing we'll come to a Super Bowl is having a neighbor who owned the Bills who lost 4 of them.
Yeah.
By the way, how grateful are the? Go ahead.
Wait, are you guys talking about the lady whose husband owned the Bills or whatever? She lives in Grosse Pointe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ralph Wilson.
yeah.
Oh, but a lot of that money that
no, my friend, his sister was like a trainer and just was like living in like her guest house or something. It was, and I was like, what? This is so
not
crazy.
Too shabby.
Yeah, she doesn't live there anymore, but I low key like 1 degree away know that person. So yeah, small world.
Cool. Yeah. Well, the Wilson Dairy is at the intersection of I-96 and I-94. That's the Wilson Dairy. That's what built his empire, but he's better known as the owner of the Buffalo Bills. So.
How grateful are the people of Buffalo that Trump did not get any part of that team?
Oh, thank God.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Well,
people in Buffalo might be mad about it. Actually,
no. He would have destroyed it, and they know it. They know it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to admire a guy because you share his racist views. It's another thing to mess with your football team.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's get real.
Believe me.
Let's get real. Come on.
Oh, that's right. That blue collar like sports. I didn't go to college, but this is my team. I don't understand that. I don't understand
there you
that.
go.
Okay. I'm just
none of us do.
You know you're not on the team, right?
You can't afford it.
That's the thing about being. That's the thing about being a Detroit football fan is you could be on the team.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
At any day they can come and draft you.
That's right. They couldn't do worse.
Any day at any bar they say, "Hey, we have a space for you. Come on."
I could be wrong, but I think your child Archie has the complexion of burnt sienna.
Anything we need to discuss while we're still live on the air? We can talk after we go off.
Sure.
Everybody's going to have a vaccination available by the end of May.
Well, I'm available now. I have 3 of the what are they, not warning signals, what do they call it? Pre-existing conditions or whatever. I'm overweight to the point of obesity, although I've lost so much weight since I became diagnosed diabetic.
That's one.
I'm diabetic, so I got
that's 2.
Diabetic. And there was something else. I can't remember what it was now. Something else that I've had. I'm a comedian. There you go.
There you go.
Here's the part that scares me. They asked me, "Do you have any underlying conditions?" And I said, "This kills me." I said, "Well, I've had cancer. And I had a heart attack." And they went, "Oh, that's all right."
Yeah. No problem.
That's fine.
That's enough.
You're not diabetic, are you? No. Okay, you're fine.
You're fine. You're fine. I tell you what, I don't know how many of you, are you diabetic, Andy?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Hopefully
All right.
not ever.
And what did your doctor say about it? Did he? Because he told me.
Good luck.
No, yeah. Well, here's the thing about my doctor is every time, since I've been 30, he's been getting in worse shape than I have, to the point where by the time I turn 50, he's walking into the examining room smoking a cigarette, holding a beer, that type of thing. Well, you look to be in pretty good shape there, Mark.
I tell you what's helped me is I've never, except for when I went into comedy clubs, I never smoked. So when we entered the comedy clubs back in the old days, you were smoking the moment you got on stage.
Well, you heard what happened to Tony Hayes, right?
No, what happened?
Oh, his doctor, after doing comedy for 25, 30 years, his doctor says, you got to stop smoking. He goes, I never smoked.
Wow.
He goes, what do you do for a living? He goes, I'm a stand-up comedy. In smoke-filled rooms? He goes, yeah. He goes, well, that's the same as smoking. You got to stop it.
Well, you know why conductors on the Metro North, that's the suburban train here in New York that goes up to Connecticut and Westchester County. They used to be a smoking car. You know who got rid of the smoking car? The conductors.
I
The
bet.
union. Yeah.
Yeah. They were probably
and you could tell. You would leave the regular car, right? The
I
non-smoking
remember
car.
that because they had the
And it'd be like a
smoking
blue
car
haze.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you turn around and there's Tommy Sledge.
Tommy Sledge on the riverfront with his exotic dancers, black ice, and snowbank. There you go.
Do you do any train travel, Sam?
Like Amtrak?
Any train travel? I mean, do you ever?
Yes, I used to travel from here to Brattleboro, Vermont, to visit my friend who lived in West Dover. He'd pick me up, but because of COVID, that train now stops at New Haven.
Oh shit!
It doesn't go any further, so I could get on the bus and go up that way, or I could commit suicide.
Exactly.
I go back and forth.
Now, Kathy, do you train travel at all, Kathy?
I do. I love the train. The train.
Yeah.
I take the train to Chicago. Yeah, I've taken it to New York a couple times. I've taken it down to Washington D.C.
Take the Acela.
Yeah, and then took the train from the Biden station, the Joe Biden train station in
Wilmington,
in Delaware.
Wilmington. When I was doing radio, I covered the 2004 convention in Boston, and on the way back, my station provided me with an Acela ticket. So who's on the train with me? Al Franken.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Wow.
And we were in the quiet car. And this is when I realized something. No, I went there on purpose. I wanted to read. I wanted to be alone. I was tired. Stayed up till 4 a.m, covering this girl. And so physically. And so, I was just pooped, but not for the right reasons. And so I get on the train and they have signs up. This is the quiet car, right? And the conductor, who was from Boston, goes, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you this is the quiet car. This is the quiet," right? And Franken, this is when I learned you can admire someone and they can still be an asshole. Because as the train is rolling, he's saying in a voice twice as loud as I'm talking now, "Why is it the quiet car? Why can't I talk? I don't understand." Over and over and over. And so I looked back, I said, "Because there's other cars." "Yeah, but I don't want to be in those cars." And a guy turned around. I'll never forget this. He said, "I will fucking knock you out right now. Right now. I will knock you out if you don't shut up now." And that was the end of that.
Yeah.
And I said, "Do you like Franken?"
That's a fucking hero.
I said, and I said, "Do you like Franken?" And he said, "I did."
I love the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
Penny, are you a train traveler?
I've taken the train all the way out to LA 2 or 3 times.
Ooh,
Yeah,
fun.
That's a trip.
That is a
I've
definite
taken
trip.
that one. I took that one
Yeah.
when I was 18, like very cliche.
Ah,
Like, I'm going to Los Angeles because I
I took it to South Dakota and Cary Grant shot me.
Ah, there you go.
It's
James
104.
Mason was
Did
in
you
that
be saying
show.
Toodaloo?
We go to Los Angeles. We go to Los Angeles by train every 3 years, ever since
Cary Grant.
my two oldest boys moved out there. Yeah, I like it because one, the seats they're just so much room. I mean, and I don't need to. If I don't need to be there in 5 hours, if I need to be there in 5 hours, I'll fly. In fact, a couple of times. Yeah. In fact, a couple of times I've been out there. I've taken the train out there round trip and then flown from Los Angeles, back to wherever I needed to be for either shows or some other appointment, but taking the train. So when I don't need to be somewhere, I kind of like it a lot.
Yeah. Mark, have you gone over?
Yeah,
we're 5 minutes over. I'm gonna take down I was on full screen, so I didn't see my clock here. I'm going back to my regular screen here, and I'm going to take it down. We'll see you guys again. All right, everybody who viewed me through YouTube, this is going much better through YouTube. I can just do a share to the Facebook pages. But I do like YouTube has got a great television app that you can download on both Roku and the Fire Stick from Amazon. And Facebook has one that you can download on Fire Stick. I don't think they have it yet for Roku. And so you can view us that way. Having problems, however you're connected to me right now, send a message on that page. I am either the administrator of the group or page, or it's my Facebook or YouTube page. So just send me a message and I'll get you hooked up. Anyway, thanks for joining us again. If you ever want to join us, this time I didn't forget. I had the Streamcast link on the screen the whole time. You want to join us? Hey, get in line. I have on my dashboard, I can actually see who's waiting to get on. And Andy's volunteered to get off if we get too crowded. And yes. So we'll see you again next week at 8 o'clock, every Monday night at 8 o'clock until such time. We do occasional Sunday or Tuesday, but that's only in the instance that something has come up that prevents me from doing it on Monday night. So we'll see you guys all again next week. And we're going to stay together here after we go off our broadcast, and we'll see everyone else next week. Goodbye.